Hello everyone, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning. So let's wait for another 2 minutes, then we will start. Yes, I think we can start. So yesterday I shared the data folder as well. So you can utilize the data sets for your practice. So I hope that works. Do you guys faced any errors on like loading the data or reading the data? It is actually in the zip format. You need to unzip it and you need to place it somewhere. Then you need to provide that path in your notebook. You need to change the paths while you are reading the data. So that works.
Yeah, Vikrant, I haven't checked it. I'll probably check it in a day or so. I didn't get chance to
Okay.
manipulate
Anyhow,
them. Yeah.
the data sets are today available on the Telegram channel. Maybe you guys can check it.
Sir, only one data set, right? Which is in zip format. You have provided yesterday night.
Yeah. So we have so many data sets, right? Inside of the data folder.
Yeah, but actually, do you have some place where we can get the data sets of our own, like any dummy data? Is there any site like kind of thing where we can download the dummy data?
So what sort of data you want?
No, just for practicing, just like that, like.
Okay, so we have a Kaggle. So Kaggle is a good platform for data scientists who can explore more. So there
Can,
have
can you
we
just
can
spell it, sir? Kadle.
Kaggle.
Kaggle. Kaggle. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
So yeah, that is actually the one good platform which you can see multiple projects, data science projects, and the data, those are all open source. And Kaggle is also conducting some of the competitions with some prize money. So if you want to explore more on those things, you can just visit, you can create your own account on the Kaggle and you can search for any of the use cases and you will get it.
Okay.
So, Vikrant, one more thing. Can we have some sort of exercises or something to, practice it out? You have given us the document from your side.
Mhm.
Is there any exercise or some sort of, just to practice it out? Do we have any kind of exercise you
Yeah,
can give for maybe few questions, try to manipulate this data and get this result or clean this data by removing spaces and then give this out result, something like that. That
Yeah,
will be
so
little
for
more
each,
interesting.
yeah, true. For each,
Just to,
some
yeah,
important topics like data structures. In
yeah,
data structures, we have list tuples and all. So, for these kind of important topics, if you can just give at least like 3 or 4 problems, that's enough. Like,
yeah. On the
Mhm.
application part, then only we'll realize how much we can recall whatever you have taught. So that is the best way to judge ourselves.
Yeah, actually, so in our previous batches also we did that. So we shared some of the exercises to them and we just discussed the multiple solution in another class. But on that time that didn't work well. The few people like people who's not interested on that, they are not did anything. So that's why like yeah, for this in this batch also I'm planning to do that. So today maybe that pandas things will get ends, that data manipulations and processing the data and all the important methods of exploration that is going to end. So maybe I will share some exercises by today. We will discuss it in tomorrow or day after tomorrow classes.
Yeah, you can give it like a homework. We'll finish it off in a day or two, and then we can come back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, especially during the weekends, like Saturdays,
Yeah,
you can
weekend.
give.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
more time. Yeah.
yeah, true.
Okay.
Not many, but topic wise, like if you can give at least 3 to 4 of such kind of things, like not at a time again, like if you can like give topic wise, and that too mostly on Saturdays, maybe that can work out.
Okay. So in the topic wise, I'll try to create some of the notebooks which is having the a problem statement and the spaces for your coding, so you can resolve the problems. Try to solve the problems.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, fine. So any other concerns? Any other questions? Okay, then let's get started with let's continue the whatever the things we left out from the pandas. So before that, let me share my screen. That is my first job to do. And you guys can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yesterday, so we started with the data pre-processing. So very basic data pre-processing, which we should know is the identifying the duplicates and drop out the duplicate rows and finding the null values in your data frames where we have null values, all these things. But yesterday we tried to understand, tried to explore where we have an duplicates and where how we can drop the duplicates. These things. So you guys are learned so far. So now we'll just move into another topic, that is if we have any none values in our data frames. If we have any 10 rows or 20 rows, we can easily identify, yes, we have some null rows. In this way, we can identify. But if we have thousands of rows or 5,000 of rows or millions of rows, in that case, how you are going to identify the null rows, null values, right? How you are going to identify? We need some method, right? We need some, what I can say, some solutions or some analysis where we need it to identify the null values. How we can identify the null values? I think I shown one good example in our previous classes, how we can identify the null values. With the example I shown, I opened the Excel file and I removed one values and I showed it. This is how we can identify the null values as well. We have any particular Python methods, okay, to identify the null values. Apart from that, by the basic information which you have on the data frame, so we could also find the null values based out of that. Instead of using any Python built-in methods. Python definitely pandas will provide some built-in methods to identify, to know the built-in this null values. But apart from that, so by seeing the data described, you can find that. How you can just I'll open that. Yeah, here. Do we have any null values in the data?
No.
No. Okay. I'll just remove this. Just yes. Now
Yes, we have.
yes, we have on which columns? On B and D, we have a none values, right? Then we can just check the count of each rows. Okay, what is the count of this data frame? Count of this data
18.
18. So let's see what is the count of this column. Excluding, you can just exclude um
18.
the column. I'm sorry, the columns headers values. Okay, so that is 1 minus 19. It is 18. Here it is right. Now here, what is the count?
17.
What do you mean by like? What is the meaning of the 17? Why it is not 18?
Something is missing in between.
It means we have an unvalues in that column. This is how we can understand the data. This is how you need to think in that way. If we are having a 18, means the next column should also have a 18, right? If it is lesser than that, if it is greater than that of okay, previous column have the none values. If it is less than the count of our previous column count, then what it means? We have some none values, some missing the data, right? So you can go with another data, another column. Here, what is the count? Here is also 17. It means here is also one value is missing. So let's go here. Here is also one value is missing. So in this way, we can identify, you can see that in these three columns, we have none values. That is each one none values on each column. This is how you can identify the none values, right? In Pythonic way, how we can do that? So for that, we should do let me open. Mm, Still I'm in here. Okay. So I have this wine quality. This is for dropping the duplicates. Yeah. So we just clean it the data. Okay. By dropping the duplicates. The next step. Let's see. Do we have none values are there? Okay. Let's see the count. How we can see the count? We have an account method. You can just count it. So if you do the count, then what happened? It is just going to show the count values for each of the columns. So before that, I just printed the shape of the data frame. What is the shape of the data frame is? It shows 5,329 rows and 13 columns. Forget about the columns. Let's see in the later. About the column treatment, we can see. Now it's time to check the rows, right? Dropping the duplicates, that's already done. Now it's time to find the none rows. So 5329. So the same in the type, that is 5329. It means we don't have any missing values over here. We don't have any none values. Let's go for another column. That is fixed acidity is 5319. So there is a difference between the actual row count and the row count for this column. What is the difference? How much is the difference? So 10. So 10, we have 10 none values in that particular column. What is the column? That is fixed acidity in this column. So you can see by eye, we can't see that whether do we have any none values or not, right? So by in this way, you can easily identify the none values. This is also one of the methods to identify the none values. By seeing the count itself, you can identify it. In the same way, you can go ahead, like with the other column, volatile acidity 5321. Here we have 8 missing values. 5326, here we have 3 missing values. 27, 2 missing values. Here again 2, and the rest of the thing is okay. Here we have 9. Here we have 4, and other thing is okay. So we have a missing values. We have null values, and that is a very small in the very smaller level. Okay, we don't have any huge missing values and all those things. We have some missing values. Okay, we can adjust it. So if we have, if our data have very less missing values, very less none values, then you can impute that. Impute in the sense you can just adjust those values for the data instead of losing the records. You can just adjust it. Okay, how we can adjust it? What are the methods? We'll discuss in the coming minutes. Now, so this is one of the method, right? So we have a multiple method. So here I listed out the column names which is having the none values. How we can print? So by seeing these counts, I can just create a list of that. How we can do it in Pythonic way? I'm a programmer. I don't want to do it manually. So how we can do it in Python? So you can just go here, cleaning the data dot information. So we have an info function over here, info method. This is going to show a basic information for your data frame, complete basic information. What are the information it's going to provide? So what is the data type? It's a pandas data frame and indexing type. Okay. So index, what are the index? So we have an 5329 entries. 5329 entries in the means we have those many counts, those many rows. But the index is shows it is from 0 to 6496. It means the index is not resetted. You can always reset the index. Okay. I'm just going to reset the index. Dot reset index drop is equals to true. Done. So now again, I'm just going to execute this line of code. See, now it's got executed, like resetted the index. We have totally 5329 entries, but index is ends at the 5328. Why? Because the index value still starts from the 0, but our records count start with a 1, but both are same. The starting point is different. Okay. Then the columns names, like how many columns we have? 13 columns we have. And what are those columns? What are the non-null counts? Non-null count means you can easily say that non-null means the row count which doesn't have the null values. That's it. Okay. This is something nothing but count values identification. So you can see. So what is the difference between this entries and this with non-null count? That we can say it doesn't that much of the missing values. Okay. And the data type for each of the columns, it is going to show data type for each of the columns. Object data types, float, rest of the float. This one is an int. And at the end, it is going to show how many float data types columns was there, integer type and object type. Object type in the sense, this type consisting having string values. By default, Python is going to understand that as an string object column. Okay. If you want to reassign the data type, you can just assign it. Now, yep, already printed it. So here you can see 5329 minus 5321. Here we have volatile acidity. We have 8 missing values. And memory utilization, memory utilized by this data frame, how much memory is utilized by this data frame is 541 KB. That's quite okay because this is a small data frame having an entries of 5.3 K. That's it. So this one method is going to provide this many information. You don't need any shape, you don't need any data type checking, you don't need any count, or you don't need any columns counting, right? By this one info method, you can get all these informations. You can get all these informations. Okay.
So this clean data is not going to remove, right? Like it's not going to remove or delete the column which is null. It's just going to give the information or count of that non-null values.
Yes, absolutely. So first we need to check it, right? So on which columns you have a null values. By identifying that column, you can start your treatment for that culprit.
Okay.
For that patient. First you need to identify who is the patient. Once you know the patients, you can just start your treatment. Once you know the disease, here the disease is none values. Okay, we also can act as an doctors.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we identified the patients out of these 13 columns. Now, and we have a multiple methods. So, okay, so if you don't have any interest to get the difference out of this, like non-null counts with your entries and all, so we have another methods as well. Okay, why I'm printing this describe. Okay, let's go back. Now you can just call the data frame. Come on. Clean data dot. We have an is null method. Okay, is null or is NA. You can use both. Sometimes the data entry is having a NA value. Sometimes with the nulls. Okay. So both in the Python it is accepting it is going to count both the values, but not in the PySpark. Okay, I'll explain how we can resolve this kind of problem in PySpark. Okay, so this is just going to like is none. So just tell me now what might be the output for this line of code. Is
It will be
none.
Boolean. Boolean.
Display only is null counts.
It's just I'm just going to show execute is none for this data frame. What might be the output?
I feel that the values will come in a Boolean format, each row wise, if it is true or false.
Okay, how you are going to guess that? Or do you know? Do you already explored that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So the name itself indicating that is none. It's just in a question mark, right? So in the question mark means it should be true or false. The answer should be true or false for in the Pythonic method. So I'm just asking is none. Do we have any is none in the data frame? It should show the rows within a true or false only, right? Let me execute this line of code. So you can see in each of the columns in a row wise, it's just going to show false, true, and false, true. Wherever you can find the true, then you can say that that particular position is none values. If false, it means there is no none values. So we can't identify it from this way. Just I had shown the example. So then again, you can just click on the dot. You can just go with sum. Okay. Sum means it is just going to show, it is just going to returns the count of the missing values in your data frames with the column wise. With the column wise, it is going to give. It means the sum is going to creating in a sum of the true values for each of the columns. Okay, so let me execute this one. See, it's just going to show like how many missing values we have in our data frames. 10, 8, 3, 2, 2, 9, 4, right? How simple it is, right? How simple it is. So here you need to create your own calculations or one difference you need to get it. But this Python function is none is going to provide the same result without any like too much of work, right? In data science, actually, we have one thought that is in your data frame, missing value percentage is more than 25% or more than 30%. We need to drop the entire rows. Okay. Like let's say you have 100 rows in your data frame or any of the particular column. Out of that 100 rows, you have 40 missing values. 40 rows are none values. 40 rows are none values. Then it's better to drop the rows. Better to drop the complete rows. So we cannot drop the only 40 rows in that particular column. It is not possible. So we need to drop the entire 40 rows of your data frame. Can anyone guess why? Why we are taking the decisions? Like not me. Most of the experts are taking those kinds of decisions. Sometimes subject matter experts will tell that in your data frame how much would be the missing values, how much should be your missing values. If he said you can just drop the rows for 20% of the missing values as well, you need to do that. But generally, we are going to take 25% to 30%. If it is greater than 30% or if it is greater than 20%, 25%. Why? What's the reason?
Won't affect the final result since value is not there.
Yeah, so that's true. Actually, that's actually missing value imputation. We need to do that. If we have an unvalues, it is going to affect the results and it's going to affect in the later stages. But
So
my question is why we need to drop that? Why we can't do implement it, impute that? Why we are not going to adjust the values?
So it affects the end result in the analysis. So we cannot predict from our side like what we require.
Okay, you are
So
very near to that answer.
also, I think cleaning the data, how will you clean that which has null values and all? It will become more cumbersome to clear that out. So better is to drop them out straight away.
Or recent data, we'll apply that and we'll exclude that history data.
Yes, that's the answer I'm expecting. So this might affecting the historical data, right? I'll just open this one. Okay, I'll just here I have an account of 17. I'm just going to remove these values. Oh, come on. Okay, so oh no, I'm just going to remove from here. Here you can see only 4 values. Nearly we have a 60% of missing values, or I can just remove that nearly 30 to 40%. Okay, here you have 9 rows out of 18. It's nearly a 50% of the data is missing over here. 50% of the data missing over here. So very first thing is, so we can't hold the data in these scenarios. We can't hold the same data. We can't take over this data for the next step. Why? Because definitely it's going to stop us, these non-values. So next answer is whether we need to drop the rows or we need to impute the rows. Impute them means implementation. So means we need to adjust these values with somehow. Okay, by taking the mean, by considering the like most occurrent values or average. We need to fill it with some values, or we can fill it with a 0 or 0 kind of thing, or any strings. Something we need to fill it. Then what happened if I fill it with any of the values? Then what happened? It makes us the passing the false informations, right? If we are going to fill the 50% of the values by our own, what is the meaning of historical data? What is the meaning of transactional data if we are manually filling that? So in that case, better to drop that instead of passing in a false informations, right? So that's the reason the peoples are going with, like, if the missing value percentage is more than 30%, they are going to drop the rows. But again, sometimes it is depends on the subject matter expertise, who knows that subject, who knows the data very well. Those peoples also can take the decision very firstly. Okay, this is actually the one of the odd interview questions which you might get in your future. Okay. Okay, then now we have an accounts, right? Here we have counts. We need to convert this into a percentage. So as I told, if we have a 30% and all these things in the percentage. Now, what is the missing value percentage of fixed acidity? Here we have an account of 10. What is the percentage then compared to the actual rows? How we can find it? Now I'm not going to do this one. You guys need to do. Just tell me what is how we can get the percentage out of those counts. Anyhow we have the counts. How we can extract the percentage of, like, in 5,329 rows, we have 10 missing rows. Then what is the percentage? in terms of percentage? Anyone?
So that will be divided by value.
Okay, just tell me what values I need to divide. Whatever you're going to do, I'm just doing that. Come on, don't worry. Like if it is going wrong, I'm there.
So
I'll show some other different methods. Okay, just take these numbers. Okay, so I need like fixed acidity missing values in terms of percentage. That's it. Only for that one. So what is the count we have? 10. Total entry also we have. How we can convert this into percentage?
Just by total count divided by 100 will give you the percentage.
Total count. Okay. What should I take?
10 divided by 5329 into 100. Into 100 in the numerator. There we have to put a parenthesis.
The same. Don't worry. Okay. If it is there, if it is not there, Python can understand that. Okay. What is the percentage here? We have 0.18 percentage. Right? Maybe you can use the round function as well. If you don't want to have this a big float values, we can just take it at 2 values round. 0.19. Can we impute this missing values or we can just drop that?
We can include.
We can input that, right? So we can just adjust that. 0.1% of adjustment will not affect anything in future. It's a small one, very, very small thing, right? If it is not a big deal. So because of this 0.1 percentage, if we are going to lose the other records as well, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because of this 10 rows, if we are going to remove then other 10 records, that doesn't make any sense. We can just go with an imputation technique. Okay. So now in the same way, how we can identify how we can print this data frame in terms of percentage. How we can print it? Come on, tell me now.
So with this present thing, you can give the so whatever it is right now, it is showing. Maybe we need to consider this sum of the result what we are obtaining into divide into 100 by total number of rows count.
Total number of counts. How I can get the total
So
number
that
of
is-
counts in Python?
By shape of if you give the shape, then you will get the rows and columns from there. In shape of rows, index of 0, I suppose. So
Index of
then,
0.
yeah,
value,
then you
it
will
will be
get only
value.
yeah,
Then
shape of
this way,
0. Yeah, yes,
then
divided by 100 into 100, I suppose. No, yeah, into 100. Yeah,
100. Here we have that formula, right?
yeah.
Let me execute this line of code. Yes, we got it, right? How
Yes.
simple it is. You guys only did it. So you can just explore in this way only. It's your notebook, it's your data, you can do anything. Okay, nobody is going to catch you or nobody is going to scold you. Now my question is what is the meaning of count? COUNT, count divided by total count. What is the meaning of this formula? Missing values count divided by the total count. What is the meaning of this formula?
Count will not consider maybe missing values. Then total means it will consider entire data.
This is
including
total
missing
count.
values.
Total count in the sense your data frame count. Okay. the
Yes.
complete rows count. This count is nothing but you can say each missing values count for each columns, missing values count for each column, right? So what this will represent, this formula?
How much percentage of the missing value it is like?
No, in the statistics, okay, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if I creating this formula means here I'm just going to take it as a 3. Okay, 3 as a count divided by total number of the list. How many total values we have totally? 6. What is the meaning of this?
It gives the average of the null value.
Exactly. Average and mean both are same. Right? Any questions on that? Mean and average both are same. So in the very statistical way, we can say it as this is a mean. We don't have any functions or anything like average in Python. It's a mean. Okay. This is nothing but an average, right? So where we are applying this formula in this line of code? Just forget about 100. What we have? Sum divided by total count. Sum is nothing but a missing values count only, divided by total row count. This is nothing but a mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can just replace this with a mean function and multiplied by 100. That's it. This is also another way, right? So in this way, you need to think it. You need to replace with like whatever the calculations, whatever the functions which we have in your Python functions, that you need to utilize it instead of bluntly writing the codes or going with a multiple complex logic. You need to reduce the complexity of your code, right? So now you can see the people can easily understand mean. So mean of that rows, mean of that particular spaces or particular selected position multiplied by 100 is nothing but a percentage only, right? This is what the formula for percentage. Now I think you guys got a good clarity on like how we can move ahead. Any questions so far?
Yeah, but I just would like to know, like in case of Oracle or in database, we have that is null value, and then that NVL of function in order to null value with another kind of like value over there. So in the similar way in Python, do we have that? Like right now we are just searching for only what are the null values and how much percentage and all, but is there any means of using NVL value or coalesce what we have in our Oracle?
Coalesce and all these things we are going to use it in what I can say a PySpark. Those are all the Java concepts, coalesce and all these things, right?
Yeah, but
Oracle is based upon the
Oracle,
Java.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So, but
Oracle is
directly in Python, we don't have the such kind of replacing with something else. Only in PySpark we have that.
yes, only in the PySpark because Spark backend is built upon the Java. As Oracle is also right. Oracle is also on the backend. It's a Java.
Okay.
Yeah. So both are in the similar pace. So in the PySpark we have that coalesce and alias. These kinds of functions we have there, not here. This is purely Python. This doesn't have This don't have any dependency of Java or any other programming language. So that's why we can call this Python as a very independent programming language. Any beginner can learn. But in the PySpark, or you can go with any Oracle database, then you should know some of that Java thing. Java with Spark and with the Python is nothing but a PySpark. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Yes. So if you really want to identify the missing values for only each of the columns, if you don't want to print for all the columns, you can just apply the same formula. You can just apply the same formula for, you can just select that column first. That is the name mean 100. Now you can see for only that one particular column, we just printed the missing values. That is 0.1876, something like that. This is how you can find the missing values. Okay. And here, okay. Yeah, how we can print this list. So we got to know that these are the missing values column by this count. Okay. How we can print it in a Python way? How we can print that? So very firstly, you need to select that. So here, yep, where I can place that. I'll just go up and clean data dot. These are the columns, right? How I can print it? The columns. These are the columns we have. So I just need to select some of the columns. What are the columns I need to select? Fixed acidity, volatile acidity, and acidity. Citric acid. Citric acid. Okay, if I just printed this one, it's just showing error, right? Okay, so here I wanted to provide a data frame and some logic that it should print only the columns having the missing values. How I can print it? So we have again clean data dot is NA or is, you can use is NA or is null, anything, both are same. Dot, if you go with any, we have we can see we have multiple methods. Any, all. Okay, it is, if I take it as any, the name indicates that if any one missing values was there, it is going to considering that values. It is means it is strictly going to consider the missing values count. It is strictly going to consider the missing values column. If you go with an all, it is currently taking all the rows, all the values and all. So I'm just going with an any. So I'm just printing it. See, we have false, true, false. Okay. Any means if you go with any is always going to give a Boolean only, right? Instead of using any sum, I'm just used the any. You can see type is false in the sense this column doesn't have any missing values. If it is true, the column have the missing values. I will just add this logic inside into this columns. See, I just filtered it, our columns with our any conditions in these null condition. Now I can get the list of those missing values columns. Okay, how I can, this is in the index level. Okay, index type. Now how we can convert it? We can just convert this into a list. See, this is how we can print it. These are the columns having the missing values. By one line of code, you can just tell your anyone who asks the question, you can just tell them these are the missing values count and this is the missing values columns. Okay, these are the ways to find the missing values. Any questions so far? Okay, if you guys don't have the question, let's move ahead. So here, before proceeding with the missing value treatment, we should think in perspective of the data science. That is, if the missing value percentage is more than 30%, it's better to drop that columns because it creates the false information that we are already discussed how it could be. Then based on the missing value percentage, we can go with an imputation technique. Based on the missing values, we can go with an imputational techniques. What are those imputational techniques? Either we can go with a drop any rows and or fill with any of the keywords, any of the keywords. Drop the rows, it means you guys already got to know that drop the rows in the sense we are going to drop these complete rows. Here we have an null values. From here to here we have a null values. We are going to drop the complete rows and this row as well and this row as well. It means I'll just going to print filter. Why we have 0? Okay, I'm just going to here, if drop NA means drop rows means I'm just going to drop this blank lines. Only I'm taking values wherever we have a values. See, I'm just drop the entire rows, and it means it's just dropping the all the records as well. Right? This is what the meaning of drop NA. Give me a second.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, he's on a call, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, sorry, I got an emergency call. Okay, so now, can you guys can hear my voice now?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is what the drop NA. Filling with any of the keywords. Filling with keyword in the sense, you can go here and again I just close this filter. I'll take this blank lines as well. Okay, filling with any of the keyword means keyword could be anything. It could be missing or NA, NAN or NAN or anything it could be. It should show that yeah the data is missing. Okay, so again based upon it's based upon that a data experts who knows the data very well. Here if I know the data very well, I tell that we can just drop the rows. Okay, but here if you want to fill up with any of the keywords, you can just tell that yeah missing, and if you can go send the same thing. And here as well, and here as well. So in this way, you can just impute that. So now you can see, do we have any blank lines or missing values? No. Now we have an 18 counts. In this way, we can just adjust the values. This is another way. It means missing the value, filling the missing values with any of the keyword meaning. This is the one. Now, what are the other things? Filling within a mean, median, and mode, and KNN algorithms. So this KNN algorithm imputations will explore when it comes to that machine learning model part. Now we can go with a mean, median, mode. What do you mean by mean, median, mode? Mean means, anyhow, you guys know what is the mean. It's just an average. Taking the average of those columns, filling the missing values, places with that mean. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of median? You can just identify the median and fill the values with that median. Median means it's nothing but a middle value. Okay, you can just fill that with the median values. Then what is mode? Mode is nothing but a frequently occurred values. Frequently occurred values in the sense, the values which is most of the time it is repeated. You can just fill up the values with that value. Okay, so this if the column is numerical, then this mean and median will works. If the numerical is the mean, median, mode, all these three works. But if it is in the string values, only mode works. Why?
Because we take most occurring value.
Why we can't take the mean and median? If the column is string or object data type. Just think, is it possible to get the mean or median values for the characters?
No.
Those are the statistics, those are the statistical functions, right? It is only applicable for numerical values. So that's why we can't take that for string values. Actually, these are the tricky questions which you might get in future in your internships. Papers are going to ask that what are the imputational techniques which you know. You are going to say that filling with any of the keywords that is assigned by the data experts, or mean, or median, or mode, and or KNN algorithms. KNN is nothing but K nearest neighbor algorithm. So I'll just tell that way what it is. What it is going to do. I'll just okay. It is just going like this is the filling missing value place, right? So before going to fill this blank lines or blank row, it is just going to take in consideration of what is the nearest value we have in this block. That it is going to automatically going to understand it, and it's going to print it over here. Again, it's a prediction by the algorithm, so that it is going to fill it. Okay, this is what the K nearest neighbor algorithm. So then again the questions will comes to you. If it is a numerical values, what are the imputational techniques you are going to do? You are just going to say that a mean and median. It is a numerical operation. Then they will ask the question, right? Why not mode? Can we use this mode for numerical columns? Yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because so in the numerical also we can find the most recurrent, most occurrence values, right? Most frequently used values, right? But we can't do it in the string values. We can't calculate the mean and medians for the strings or characters. So that's why we can still go with a mode only. So in the we can easily identify the mode, right? For like most occurrence, like let's say here. This is the string values. We can easily identify what is the mode for this column. What's the mode for this column?
Dealer A.
Dealer A. Then what happened? It is going to identify dealer A is the most recurrent values. Then it is going to fill with the dealer A. Dealer A. This is how it is going
So,
to fill.
Vikram, one question here. You're saying we'll use the most, the mod value, the most occurring value here. But there might be like dealer D or C something. So we don't know what it is. So it is just an assumption we are taking. So won't it affect the result straight away? How, on what basis are we taking this? Maybe there is some other dealer which is not, registered or not known. So why are we taking that? What do you think could be the negative side of choosing this value?
Yes, that's actually possible thing, but we don't have any other ways. So that information should come from the data experts only. Data experts only tell that, yeah, we missed some other dealers, because those guys only know about their dealer informations, right?
Okay.
If it is a product-based company, okay, service-based company, people will don't know the product-based company's business. The business people only tell that, yeah, in their business, who are all the dealers was there? Only dealer A, dealer B are there, or any other dealers was there? If we have any other dealers, why don't we have any entries over here? A single entry, we don't have any single entry, right? If they are not
Yeah.
there.
Dealer
So
is
in
something,
that,
it's a growing thing, because like the company will give dealership to a lot of people. So maybe there are some new dealers which have not come in here in the picture.
yeah,
So that's what I think.
again, it's their responsibility to add it. It's our responsibility to take the data, but my models will not perform well. You will not perform anything if you have any none values. Then it's my responsibility to fill the values, right? So again, I'm just going to like tell the proposal. This is what I'm going to do. If they have any dealers information, they can provide it on that time. If they don't have, I'm just going to assign with my way. And here, by using a mode, we have another disadvantage as well, is it is going to creating a class imbalance.
Yeah.
If you are going to apply the same things, let's say this D is your prediction column, D is your independent column. If you are going to apply a mode, then what happened? It's going to create a class imbalance. Here, how many dealer A values was there? Hardly 18 minus 3, 15. And what are dealer B information is there? Only 3. It is making a class imbalance. This might affect the model if you are applied these kinds of things in your predictions. Okay, these are things you need to consider. So again, you need to discuss all these things with your data experts, then you need to do. But I'm just going to show what are the ways of thinking you should have while doing all these things. Data science is not just a procedure to go in a one single flow, right? We have a multiple other ways to think. Okay, this is actually one of the methods. This is what the mode. And mean means what is the mean? So let's say here we have a missing values of these. Okay, control Z. Here I have two missing values. Out of that 18, I have two missing values. In the sense, what is the percentage of missing values here? Is equals to 2 missing values we have into divided by total count is 18, right? Into 100. This is 11 percentage. Okay, here we have an 11 percentage, but in our data it is 0.01, 0.19, 0.1 things, right? So let's see, I'm just going with only one values. It's a 5.5 percentage. We can still go with the missing value imputation, right? So this one is missing. Okay. So in this case, if I fill any of the values over here, does this affect anything?
Yes.
Is it affect anything?
Yes.
Out of this one, like you consider if you have 1,000 of rows, in that 1,000 of rows, if I added anything over for 2 rows, does it affect anything? If yes, how? If no, how?
It is affecting for sum of the total amount.
I'm not worried about the actual sales. I'm just affecting about my predictions. I'm not worried about the actual sales, total actual sales.
Okay.
After that, all the data analysis only, I'm just going to doing an imputation. So implementing of the 2 and 3 values does not make any sense. Does not affect anything. Okay, you can directly go with that. If that 100 of rows, if you are going to implement like 50 of the rows, then it makes a false informations. Now, here we have one values of missing, one block is missing. So whether we can go with a mean or median. Okay, so let's take the mean. Mean means average. That is 4,552. Okay, so you can either fill with a mean or you can fill with a median. What is the median value for this one? What is the middle value? Again, you can just create, you can just calculate the middle values. You can fill it with that values. So these things which we can do it in Python as well. Here we are doing it manually, right? In the same way, we have functions in Python that is mean, median, and mode. Okay, so dot. So let's say we have, let me take this column. Okay, this is a numerical column. So I'll just calculate. Come on. Yeah, median is also there. You can just use it. So mean is 7.21. You can just fill all the 8 Hello. Can you guys hear my voice?
Yes, Vikrant.
We can.
I'll taking a pause now. So I think you got a good understanding of what is mean, median, and what how we are going to fill it and all by manually. How we can do it in math, like how we can do it in Pythonic way. That all we can discuss in tomorrow's classes. Maybe I will try to create some of exercises for you with a concept wise. I will share it whenever I get a chance. Please take care of those things. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you.